The purpose of English is to gain position and to use both the English and the rails to gain the right position on the next ball. Once you start using English to make balls, you're heading down the wrong path, and you're going to wind up with an inconsistent pool game, trust me. Now, there are some rare exceptions to this, but they're rare, put it that way. The primary reason for English is to gain position. Your best strategy if you want to play at an advanced level is to keep this game as simple as possible. And the problem with English is it complicates everything. In other words, if you don't need it, don't use it. We're going to be setting up the same exact shot 9 different times, and each time I'm going to hit the cue ball at different positions on the cue ball, and we're going to pay strict attention on exactly what that cue ball does after the object ball is made. These are the 9 positions. The first one will be bottom left. The second one will be center left. And the third one will be top left. The fourth one will be bottom center. The fifth one will be center ball. The sixth one will be center top. The seventh one will be bottom right. The eighth one will be center right. And the ninth one will be top right. And here's where you see me marking the table to place the object ball, and I'm just putting an X with the corner of the chalk because they won't let me put stickers on the tables in here, so I don't know why, but they won't let me do it. And I'm just trying to make absolute sure that we have the same exact shot all 9 times. And that noise that you hear in the background, that's a ping pong machine that serves balls to you so you can practice your returns. So this is a shot that we're setting up, and as you can see, the cue ball is a little bit on the left-hand side of the 7-ball line. So let's go ahead and take our first shot with bottom left. Because we're putting bottom on this ball, it's going to increase the angle off the object ball into that rail, when a normal angle or natural angle would be more like this. And the more bottom you put on it, the more it's going to increase that angle. Also, because you're putting left on the ball, the cue ball is spinning clockwise. So if we zoom in on this, we can see the cue ball spinning clockwise, which means it's actually trying to grab that bottom round. It's gaining traction, which is greatly going to slow down that cue ball, and that's going to result in a killed natural angle off the bottom round, and it's greatly going to slow down the cue ball to where we have a lighter bounce off the bottom round, and we wind up with something like this. So this shot would be perfect if we had an object ball here, and we need a little bit of an angle, but we still need to get back up table for your next shot. Or if the object ball was over here and you still need an angle for the same reason to get back up table on the following shot. Then now let's take a look at center left. We have the same exact shot, but now because the cue ball is traveling naturally after hitting the 7-ball, we're going to hit the rail at about this angle here, which means that left-hand English won't be killed as much. And because of that, clockwise English is still spinning. It's going to grab that rail and send it in this direction here. And this would be the absolute perfect shot if your next object ball was here or right around here and you're shooting it down the long route to get on the 9 ball. Okay, let's take a look at top left.
So it's just consistent. Well, and you're just learning, then that's good. But it will do random too. It'll put it in place.
So you
Have what?
don't have any money to play in?
Yeah, Paul's coming in at 3:30, so he should be here in a minute.
And this one's interesting, and it's probably the most interesting shot of the day. And we're going to come back to this one later on before this video ends. And if we're straight in and we put top on the ball, we know the cue ball follows the object ball to wherever the object ball is going, but we're not straight in. Still, the cue ball is trying to follow the object ball, and because we're at an angle, we're going to hit that rail, of course, but it's at a much more decreased angle than the other two shots, so this would be the pathway of the cue ball after hitting the object. And because of all that clockwise spin, we're going to go directly into this left-hand side rail, and because of the top, we're going to go all the way back up table into this position right here. So this would absolutely be the correct shot if your next shot is back up table and somewhere in this area right here. And the fourth option would be center bottom.
We can have these fixing for the clothes tomorrow.
Right.
And that was certainly a pretty bad stroke, but the point got across. We're going to wind up in the same position we wound up when we put bottom left on it. You're just not going to the rail, and if you want to pull it out to here, and that's where you need to be, this is your option. So now let's take a look at center ball.
For a while before we started that.
Yeah. This was down at the whole place.
And that's about as natural as it gets, and this is what should be used as a relative base to compare to all other shots. It should always be your first option, but of course, we have to get position, and sometimes this position that we're looking at here is not the right position. I mean, that's all we got. It goes off the object ball naturally, and it hits that bottom rail naturally, and it ends up in whatever is natural, which in this case is right here. And so if center ball does that, what does top center do? And the answer is the same thing as center ball. It takes the same path off the object ball and off the rail. It just goes further because there's a whole lot more energy on the cue ball when you put top on the ball. And with that, let's see what bottom right does. And again with a bad stroke, but we saw two unique things. Number one, we bent the cue ball, and number two, now we're sending the cue ball all the way to the right-hand side rail, which is great if you have a shot, say like this, or if you need to get back up table, this is great on a shot like this, because now you can go 2 rails right back up table, no problem. So what does the 8th option, center right, do here?
Well, I'm just doing over here. I don't be coming here about a year
And this time we went to the rail, but we wound up on the right side, but way further back up table. And here's what's going on here, because when you hit right on the cue ball is spinning counterclockwise. It's actually grabbing that rail and gripping it and throwing it to the right-hand side of the table. The complete opposite of what left-hand English does when it spins it clockwise. So now you're kind of helping the cue ball on its natural path, but you're distorting it and increasing it. and it's a fun shot to play. And a lot of people play these when they don't have to and try hard not to get into that habit. And the ninth and last option is top right, so let's check out what that's going to do.
I think, but I finished later, because I had a partner player. That's probably the biggest.
And it takes pretty much the same path that center right took. The big difference is it's coming off that bottom rail with a whole lot more energy. And you're really risking a scratch here. So if you're faced with a shot like this, I would really recommend you using top left if you have to get all the way back up table. The issue with that is you're going to have to work on it and you're going to have to perfect it, as I did while I was making this video. I was struggling with top left on this shot and not doing what I knew I could do. It was just a matter of dialing it in, and I'm going to prove that to you in this outro right here coming up. Think I can get straight in on this 9-volt from here?
Yeah.
It's not easy, man.
See that spot on the table where they shoot from? I'd say you put it right about there. That was going that direction.
Yeah. You can't hit it too hard, it'll kill the engine. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Has it come off this rail, this rail? Now, there's other ways to do it, but I'm assuming that there's like a ball here and a ball here.
Well,
So you
yeah,
don't want to.
yeah. You have to presume there's going to be other balls. So it's going to be more than you have to have more than one way to get to where you want to go.
Yeah. I'm going to hit it too hard. Because in the tournament last weekend, this is right here.
Oh, this is what you lost with, or
Yep. No, I didn't lose this. I just got bad on. We were playing April, and he took a couple shots and dogged it, or he scratched. I ball and handle him, but still, I shouldn't be missing. Man, I didn't miss it. I just got bad as shit.
well, yeah, that's
See, that's makeable, but you don't want a hard shot on the engine.
yeah, but that's makeable, but not if it's not what you want. That was the whole thing. It's
See, it reverses in there if you hit it too hard. Shot it top left. Hey,
there you go.
I just had to stop hitting it so hard.
That's a doable shot.
Oh yeah.
And that's Yeah. There you go. See, it's a good example.